tell me about the idea behind this film, because when I watched it, it felt so close to
Yeah.
our logics, like Latin American logics, these very
Yeah.
small towns with few people, and
Yeah.
this way to saying goodbye to someone the community loved, not just
Mm.
a family, not just a friend, but the community
Mm.
loved. And it's so beautifully made, like the cinematic language and the sound and the few words and few music is so beautiful, your movie, that I
Yeah.
want to hear the story behind it.
Ah, see, it's today also. I just came back from that village today. I just got back an hour back. I went to the village. You remember the character Livingstone in the film? The
Yes, of course.
person with the mother who stays with the mother. So I was
Mhm.
so inspired by one of the person from that village that it happened to. I wrote the story in around that person. So today I went to that village because his mother passed away.
I see.
So I just went there for the funeral and all. Then I got back. Then I was just while coming back, I was just thinking like how this everything. So what happened? I had this idea about urban migration. It's really getting affected in the small villages in my place. It's really getting affected. People are busy moving to cities. They're forgetting their roots. As you're bringing talking about community, we are actually forgetting the sense of community also. Earlier, when there's a Christmas, you see people gathering together. Now there's Christmas is over a video call. I feel like it's come to that point, So that's the whole idea. That I said so I set the whole film in the future. You must have seen it was in 2047. It's futuristic, So my whole idea behind it is don't let 2047 to be like this, the way I showed in the film. We still have time. We still have time to correct this. We still have time to rectify this. Okay, good. You go to the city, you're doing your work, but don't forget your roots. Your roots are very important, you know. And from the place you belong, please look back once, whether your parents, your grandmother, your mother, your father, your uncle, whoever are there, just turn and look back at them, because these people will not complain because they know you're moving away to the city is your future. They will not complain, they will not say anything, but try to understand them also, what's going on inside them. So the whole idea struck from there. So that's how we developed it and started, coming make and finally we could make this film. But yes, it took me 2 years to make the film because I was shooting the film in every season. I think you must have seen in the film, I have the spring, I have the summer, I have the autumn, I have the winter. So it took time for me to shoot. So for me, season also became the character in the film, you know. And the space itself became the character in the film.
Yes. Yeah, that's very clear, and that's one of the most difficult things to do.
Yeah.
I could feel the smell of the place,
Oh, wow.
the distance of
Yeah,
the hills, and
yeah.
because you take actually the first scene is so beautiful for me, the camera that goes from the landscape
But,
to inside the bus, and
but
this
it's bad.
character with the red
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
and that your head is like, what is going on here, right? Because and the bus belongs, because one of the things also with the synopsis that it says in 2047, and I said that bus is not the future, right? So it kinds of plays, yeah, it's
Yeah,
like a game with all the future prejudices that we have,
yes,
how the
yes. It
future will look like,
will look like,
and
yeah.
and also the humor is very subtle, and it also makes that the humor is one of the most specific things about a place. It's
Mm,
very hard to share humor with
yeah,
such a different cultures.
I know.
So yeah, your movie is very precise and beautiful.
Because the thing is that, I always tell my team, it's a kind of a film that we have to approach with, it's about finding celebration in solitude. You know, so these characters were exactly like finding celebration in that solitude. No complaints about how life is going on. They're happy, but they're worried about if someone die, what will happen, and worrying
Yeah,
about who will dig the grave.
but you have to I mean, the art that you chose to express those ideas
Yeah,
is film, and you
yeah,
have to film that solitude, that
yeah.
happiness in solitude. You have to make that into an image,
Each
and
image,
that's
yes.
what's hard to make. We can talk about the theme and the characters, but then you have to
Create that.
translate that
Yeah,
into cinematic
yeah.
language.
It should translate into the screen at the end of the day. That's very important.
Exactly. So I,
And
I
the,
wonder, we what were the choices you made? I mean,
okay.
like this, like kind of rounded camera inside the bus, or the way you put the camera, not in a straight way, but in the side, so you can see the perspective. Those
Yes.
are the things I'm interested about too.
No, the idea behind of doing that also, some people they feel it's very simple, but it was not simple. Because I really want to feel that the audience to feel that they're sitting right there in that village and looking at the story of those people from a very close range, so the whole idea of placing the camera was very tricky for me. I cannot just place oh, everything should look nice. No, I told my DP, let's place the camera in such a way that we should feel, the audience should feel that they're sitting right there. So the whole idea about the film also, I started with the film when the bus is like taking the audience into that village. Okay, the audience went to the village, they saw the story of those people. So at the end, I came back to the same bus stop where the bus come at the end. The camera, it was at certain point, the bus comes, the bus leaves. So my whole idea about that is like, it's the audience. They're in two minds. Should we go back to the city or should we go back to the village? So that's why it ended there. So that was the whole idea about how to approach this film. That's why, and to get that feel of that isolation, watching them from distance, watching them from very close, you know and some people, they did ask me why some drone shots, very static drone shots in the film. You saw those static drone shots. So the whole idea behind those drone shots also was, my belief is that someone above us watching on them. There's always someone above them who's keeping an eye on them, "Ki, I'm there, I'll protect you." So that's the whole idea about those drone shots also. So it had some, intention behind it of doing it. It was very strong intention. But there are minor things in the film, a person trying to bring electricity. He's the only one seeing the light came, but no one saw. At the end when the light comes in the church also, no one saw. So, that's how life is. It's so unpredictable at times. Suddenly someone just die. You cannot say, so that's how life is, yeah.
And what about the sound? Because it's such an interesting theme, and it's something that you have to think about, right? That
Mm,
village, the way that village sounds, because of the landscape and the amount of people that
mm,
live there, is not the same as another village, and it's not the same as, and one house is not the same as another house. So,
yeah.
how did you work with your sound engineer to to
See,
to
I
think
told them,
about this?
yeah, I just told them one thing, because while writing, we were very clear with the sound in our mind. First thing I told them, just be careful, the wind. The wind, every season, the sound of the wind will change. The sound of the wind will never remain the same. So that is one biggest advantage that we got. The wind have changed the whole soundscape. Then the house. So all the house had different tone. So we were very particular about those tones. So sometimes what happened, you put a curtain, you get a different tone. You remove the curtain, you get a different tone. So I said, be very particular about all these things also. So what happened? They said that people will not understand. I said, don't say that. The audience are smart nowadays. Like now you're the first person who really spoke about the sound. Like, so this is the thing, the way it rains, when you sit and you watch inside the theater, you really feel that it's raining right there in front of you. So I told my sound guys, be very careful about this, because I don't have a background score in the film. So treat the sound design as a music. So that have really worked in favor of the film, basically. Yeah.
I see. It does make sense.
Yeah.
And what about the colors? Because
Yes.
the color palette is another
Yeah.
very strong
Yeah.
characteristic of the film.
Yeah. So we were, see, the color palette, it was decided right from before. First thing, it's 2047. Because of the global warming, there are lots of things are going to change. I don't know how 2047 will look also, but I told my DP, whatever we do, we have to do on set. We should not trust the post-production. Be very careful of while what we shoot and what we film. So we were very clear right from day one. The spring should look like this, the summer should look like this, the autumn should look like this, and the winter should look. So we were very clear about the color palette. So even with the production designing, the whatever inside the house and also, we were very particular about that. We'll use minimal things. We will not highlight anything. Nothing should pop up, because for us what was important is to put across what we want to say. And we must have realized that the first 25 minutes of the film, there were no dialogues. There were no dialogues at all, the first 25 minutes of the film. So those first 25 minutes for us was very, very challenging. To hold the audience for that long, then everyone was, someone used to ask me, what happened, why there were no dialogues and all. Then I said, when they were talking, we were not there. So, you know,
Oh, that's very good. Yeah, we don't know what they said before
yeah,
we arrived.
yeah.
And so, how did you work with the actors? How did you rehearse? Because
Yes, yes,
you are thinking
yeah,
about the audience, but that is
yeah.
also hard to act. A 25
Because
minute part
yeah,
of the
because
film with
they
no
are they are
words.
all they are non-professional actors, all of them. Okay, and we all got back together. We were together. We rehearse a lot, but we do the rehearsals in locations. We used
Right.
to go there, spend, because I told them that the chemistry between you guys should look like you belong from this village. You'll just come and perform and you'll expect them, no, so that rehearsal have really worked. They've been staying together, eating together, drinking together, we've been joking, and we were spend time like anything, we were spending time. And that shooting every season have really helped me a lot. When we shoot the first season, we watch the film, then we know, okay, we're going wrong here, we need to rectify this, because the film is like, all the shots were long takes, there were no cuts, there was nothing, so that have worked in favor of the film. you know and there's one more thing I just want to tell you, most people, they don't know about, I used to tell when I go to festivals, I do share this. The goat in the film, the goat was supposed to be in the film till the climax. Okay,
Mm.
then what happened, because we were shooting in the outskirts in the villages, 2 days before we started the autumn, some wild dogs took away the goat. The goat disappeared. We couldn't find the same goat anymore. And
Oh
we were stuck.
no.
Yeah, and we were stuck with the shoot and continuity problem, this and that, what to do. Then I said, I'll add this into the script. So I started changing the script. I added the whole portion in the script that the goat disappeared. And later on, when we finished the film, we said, oh, this works better now.
Yeah, but it's very. Yeah, I mean, if you make a story that it takes place during the 4 seasons, a
Yeah.
lot of things change. Not
Yes.
only the things you can control, like the wind sounds this way, or maybe some snow, or it's very hot. No, no, goats also disappear.
Yeah. Not only that, there's so many sequences in the film, like, the goat disappeared. Then there's a sequence where we had to track down to this in the beginning where they had dig that grave. Remember, they dig the graveyard. So the graveyard was digged so beautifully. So we came back. We were supposed to shoot again next day. Whole night it rained that day. When we went there and we saw the whole grave, the shape of the grave have changed. So now if the shape of the grave have changed, then what to do? So I said, let's add it into the script. So that also became a part of the script, a round grave, and so we lots of things that we had to manipulate in that way. But at the end of the day, it works in the favor of the film only, So
Yeah, it's very beautiful, as I said. Okay, thank you for sending this beautiful film. I
thank
hope
you
that we
for
can make a connections.
definitely,
Next
definitely.
films that you
Yeah,
have, we can hopefully invite you to present with
yeah.
the
Okay, thank you so much.
audience, and we hope that the audience will already know about your work and know about the way you work with doing your films. So thank you very, very much.